Masked Hero.
All right, hello everybody, and happy Hercules release day to all those who celebrate. Today we are going to be doing an unboxing of Hercules, and there will be probably a separate video for Wonder Man, but let's get into it because I actually know the least amount about the Hercules pack because I wasn't really paying that close of attention because I wasn't that extremely excited. That said, let's not skip a beat. Let's just get into it. All right, there we go. Okay, so we've got all the cards. Let's cut off the aspect cards real quick and we'll get everything figured out here. I know we have a labor deck and we have the gifts, so let's separate everything out. I guess we'll get to these in just a second, but let's talk about the alter ego first. Yes, the alter ego. Okay, it's hard to tell. Again, like many other situations, sometimes we just have these cases where they're both named the same thing. It's like, well, what part am I looking at? We have Hercules, a 4 recovery alter ego with the Olympus trait. Hercules begins the game with a labor and gifts deck. So that would be these two decks. I'm trying to think which one. So this one's the gift, this one's the labor. That makes sense. We got the alternate backs, just so you know. This was brought up during Civil War, but basically we gave you these different backs so that they're just harder to mix into your regular deck. I'll probably still see a bunch of Reddit posts about this, but that's what it is. Let me fix the focus here real quick. All right, that looks a little bit clearer. Okay. So we have the two decks. That's the first part. Then we have the new Labors of Hercules action, which is an action. If there is no labor card in play, reveal the top card of the labor deck. Again, that is this deck. So yeah, so if this is face down, then we'll flip this over using his ability. Then when this goes to the victory display, we'll have to use it again to flip over the next labor. I do believe that. Let me just look at the insert. Yes, okay. So that is true. The only way to look at the next card is to do that. Oh, do I start the game with one revealed? I don't think I do. No, okay, they're all face down. Okay, so pretty basic base stats, 6 hand size, 14 hit points. 14 hit points is good. There's going to be a couple cards that turns on. Spoiler alert, I don't know if any of those are actually in the deck. Again, I wasn't paying attention to the previews for this. But yeah, let's get into the other side, and then we'll look at the two different decks. So we've got Hercules, a 1 thwart, 3 attack, 2 defense hero with the Avenger and Olympus traits, the Atonement ability, which is a response. After a labor card is put into the victory display, put the top card of the gift deck into play. Ready Hercules, you may flip to alter ego form, limit once per phase. I suppose that's relevant because if you happen to... Well, no, you wouldn't have 2 labors in play at the same time. But if you happen to have the ability to work through 2 labors, which I don't know what that necessarily intends, but if you were able to work through both of them, you wouldn't be able to just like ready up infinitely. Although I would think that if you did that, you probably earned it. Okay, then 4 hand size. Okay, we've seen that before. That sounds like a kind of hero I like. And 14 hit points again. Yeah, I think the fact that he just starts with 3 hit point or 3 attack is really good. 1 thwart is kind of a good offset. Yeah, I guess I don't see anything about this that necessarily rings too untrue for me. But let's get into what the labors are. What are we going to need to do to get to these gifts? So we'll just set these aside. We'll move Hercules over a little bit and we'll work our way through this. Okay, so we've got to protect humanity. It's an obligation. Okay, that makes sense that the labors would be obligations. Uses 3 labor counters, victory 0. When revealed, find Amadeus Cho and put him into play. Okay, so that must be... Oh, that's going to be your identity-specific ally. Cool, makes sense. Force interrupt. When the villain would attack Hercules, choose one of your allies. The villain attacks that ally instead. After that attack resolves, if Hercules defended, remove 1 labor counter from here. Okay, I think that is very easy to do. This shouldn't be too hard to work through. Obviously, they're giving you an ally to already have this be turned on. So if you're in an ally low deck, I suppose you don't want to do that. You don't want Hercules to be too low on allies. You want him to have a healthy amount. Puts him in, makes him even better for leadership. But if you have the ability to ready back up and you're playing multiplayer, when the villain would attack Hercules, yeah, so it's only going to be on your turn. So even if you ready back up, that's not necessarily going to do you any good. I could be wrong. I don't... Defending is weird. I think it has to be the initiation of the attack. So if you're playing with like, you know, a Thor player and the villain goes to attack Thor, even if you defend with Hercules, that that doesn't read right to me that you should be able to remove a counter, because the villain was never attacking that ally. Any number of things. Okay, but I think this is going to be pretty straightforward to get rid of. I think it's going to take you a little while, which I think definitely earns the labor moniker. But yeah, I don't see this as being too hard. It's just going to come down to actually making that part of what you want to do with your game. Then we've got Embody Pathos, an attachment, labor, victory 0 again, attached. Okay, so attached side scheme gains assault. Threat cannot be removed from attached side scheme except by Hercules thwarts. Okay, so basically you make it so that he can thwart for 3 against the side scheme. Oh, I suppose I didn't even notice that. Is that? Yeah. So there's this motif where the picture gets cut in half. Okay, then the one revealed, find an encounter side scheme that is not in play and reveal it. Treat each per player icon as 1 and attach this card to it. Place a 6 additional threat onto it. Oh, okay. It's going to start with 7 threat on it, I believe, if I'm following this correctly. Find an encounter card side scheme. Find an encounter side scheme, so you can't do like a player side scheme that's not in play. Reveal it and treat each. Yeah, that makes sense. So it would start with 7 threat on it, which is doable. It's a little bit much, but I think it gives you a reason for wanting to have some kind of thwart event in your hand or in your deck so that you can maybe knock this out not in 3 turns but in 2 turns. I do like the fact that it would seem as if on the base you are going to be spending 3 turns on each labor. We'll see what the next one is, but not knowing what the gifts are yet, I think this is also one that it's going to take time, but I think is probably not impossible to do. Defeat the Hydra. Again, I like that. Okay, so another attachment with a labor. Attached minion gets +6 hit points and gains the elite trait. Attached minion cannot take damage except from Hercules attacks. Okay, that seems rough. One revealed. Find a non-elite minion with at least 6 printed hit points. Whoa, okay, with at least 6 printed hit points. Wow, okay. Reveal it and heal all damage from it. Attach this card to it. So it can be a minion that is in play with at least 6 hit points. Wow. I don't know that every scenario has it. I mean, there must be something in his kit, like his Nemesis or something that's going to make that possible. And again, his find spelled out nice and clear. It's not. Okay, I'll put the rules for find up on the screen just so that that's clear as to what the bounds of that are. I believe the only thing that doesn't do is the victory display. But again, I'll have the rules up on the screen. Yeah, this seems like a challenge. I do find this one seems like the most fun because you can use all the things that Hercules is good at to probably blow through this. But okay, we know the labors now. So, but what are our gifts going to be? So right off the bat, we've got Nemine Lion Skin. Definitely got that wrong. It is an upgrade with the artifact and gift trait. Permanent. Hercules gets +2 hit points and gains steady. I like it. Response. After this card enters play, draw 4 cards. That seems like a great gift. So that would give him 16 hit points and steady. That seems pretty good. Then we've got the Shield of Parasus. Again, not going to get that right. Artifact, give, permanent. Hercules gets +1 hit points. So it goes up to he's going to be a beast by the end of this. So he gets +1 hit points. Gains retaliate. When enters play, draw 4 cards. Cool. And then the Sword of Pericles, or not? That's not Sword of Pericles. Sword of Pericles. Pegasus. I don't know. Again, not my forte. Artifact, gift, weapon, permanent, restricted. Gets +1 hit point and gains. Oh, and basic attacks gain piercing. Cool. And then response, draw 4 cards. Okay. So overall, I think that the main gimmick of this seems like it's going to be pushing Hercules in a direction where you're going to want to be taking a considerable amount of time. You're not necessarily rushing. I kind of like that more. Recently on Discord, someone made the reference to feeling a lot like Ironheart in the fact that you're working through different stages. I can see that comparison. I can see how this is not going to be like Ironheart in the fact that Ironheart can be in her 3rd stage by like the end of like the second turns, if you have everything set up correctly. It definitely is one where you're setting out to do kind of a little quest, but I think this is going to be a lot more of like Hercules is going to hold his ground. He's going to be working through these labors. He's going to be looking to push the game to go a little bit longer. You know what? In multiplayer, that's going to be great. I think in solo, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You're probably going to, for the most part, get to all 3 gifts at some point. But I would say that I'm going to plan, if I'm playing Hercules solo, that I am maybe only going to gain 1, maybe 2 of these gifts before either the game just schemes me out or I win. That's going to be my assumption. And I'm not great at rating cards just on first appearance, but that's kind of what my gut says, is just plan to have 1 or 2 of these gifts. All 3 of them may not be something that's attainable. I could be very wrong on that, but that's just putting my thoughts out there. Let's go into the kit now. So you've got Amadeus Cho, who was referenced already. He is a 2-cost ally. Love it, especially with 4 hand size. 1 thwart, 1 attack. He is the genius trait and 2 hit points. Force interrupt. When a minion would attack you, it attacks Amadeus Cho instead. Action, exhaust Amadeus Cho, draw 1 card. Okay, I like that. I like just the ability to, and obviously a wild resource, I like the ability to offset his lower hand size. I like the fact that, unlike Thor, we're giving you a cheap ally. That's good. And I like the fact that he's kind of always in the line of fire. That all seems very thematic. And yeah, I would say this all as a package feels like a good time. We got 3 copies of the Gift of Battle. It is a 3-cost event, attack traded. Reduce the cost to play this card by 1 for each gift card you control. Cool, that offsets his lower hand size. I think that's a good mechanic. Hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. All right, so at its base, at the beginning of the game, not great. But if you've got 1 or 2 gifts, if you've got all 3, all the better. 0 for 5 damage is good. But yeah, if I'm working on the thought that I'm going to have 1 or 2 gifts, this being costing 2 or 1 seems pretty fair. He's already got 3 attack. I think the fact this is going to probably pair well with the fighting the Hydra thing. Deal 3 damage. This is 8. Again, like I said before, like if you can turn fighting the Hydra into only taking 2 basic attacks, or maybe like 1 turn, all the better. And if you have, I guess at that point you have at most 2 gifts because you're still working through one of the labors. But deal 5 damage for 1, swing for 3. You might still have the cards in your hand to do something else. Maybe you've got a resource generator, and yeah, maybe you can blow through that Hydra in a single turn. I think that would just be stellar. Then we've got 2 copies of Son of Zeus, a 2-cost event, Olympus traded. Hero action, ready Hercules if you control at least 1 gift. Ready an identity-specific upgrade you control. All right. If you've got 2 gifts, gain a tough status counter. If you've got 3 gifts, draw a card. Okay, so we must have... Okay, looking ahead, we got some upgrades on the way. I didn't look at what they are, but okay. So I would say ready Hercules, ready a identity-specific upgrade. Sounds pretty good to me. The other things are just gravy, drawing an extra card. Yeah, I think overall this seems like a really good balance for a 4-hand size hero. And I do like having a ready in the kit. Then we got Wisdom of Athena, 3-cost event, thwart traded, reduce the cost for each gift you control. Cool. Hero action, remove 4 threat from a scheme. So yeah, I would say this is a bad card when you have no gifts. When you have 1 gift, 2 for 4 is pushing it, especially with your hand size. That's almost your entire hand. Actually, at a base, this is your entire hand to remove 4 threat. But you know what? Early on in the game, hopefully you're not the one who's responsible for really keeping a bad main scheme like in check or something. But yeah, as you move on, 1 for 4, cool. 0 for 4, awesome. I like the fact that at the end of the quest, all of your stuff is just like extremely good. And yeah, I think this is good. Again, this feels like a good balance for a 4-hand size hero. Then we've got a support. We've got Olympus. We kind of had to expect that. We've seen Asgard. Now we have Olympus. 0-cost support. Location Olympus traded. Raw resource. Exhaust Olympus. Generate 1 wild resource for each gift you control. That seems stellar. This is a dead card at the beginning, but hopefully you get a labor that you're able to kind of knock out super quick. I would say the one that I would be most looking forward to might be the Hydra, because at least you can see an end there. The defending one's going to be a little more difficult, and actually, I think I'd probably want to do the attached to a encounter. Was it a side scheme? I think it was a side scheme. Yeah, attached to a side scheme. Maybe I would want to do the side scheme immediately. Hard to say, but yeah, I would say as long as you get through the first labor pretty quickly, this is at least it's getting you a wild resource, and that's good. Gauntlet of Hercules, 0 cost upgrade, again, 0. Armor and Olympus traded, hero interrupt when Hercules defends against an attack, exhaust. Gauntlets of Hercules, Hercules gains retaliate 1 for that attack for each gift you control. Ooh, that's pretty good. Okay, so having the instance retaliate 3 makes that seems really good. You could win by defense. I like that. Oh my god, the change of fortune archetype in a fully loaded Hercules deck sounds really good. You got Golden Mace, a 1 cost upgrade. Oh, keeping in mind that all these can be okay, so this is the second upgrade, but all these can be readied with his event. Okay, so Golden Mace, Olympus, weapon traded, restricted. When Hercules makes a basic attack, exhaust Golden Mace, he gets +1 attack for each gift you control, and this attack gains overkill. Yeah, I can see this being good. If you get the Hydra as your third labor, this seems like a lot better. So you got a base attack of 5. Yeah. Or just a base attack of 5 against anything, but overkill is all better. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a pretty cool kit. And we've got Hercules' helm, 0 cost upgrade, armor, Olympus traded, hero interrupt defense. When the villain attacks you, exhaust helmet, reduce the amount of damage this attack deals by 1. Okay, yeah. That can be super helpful. If you're just looking to turn that retaliate on with the gauntlets, and you've got a small, base attack from the villain, maybe they're only attacking for 1, maybe you're going against Claw where he might not deal too much damage. I mean, it could be high, but you're regulating it a little bit. I think looking at a situation where you've got your base of 2, this kind of gives you a defense of 3, that can turn off a lot of villain attacks, especially like at the beginning stage, whether that be 1 or 2 depending on what you're in. But that seems like a good safeguard against the villain for at least a little while. Lion of Olympus, upgrade, Olympus traded, temporary, discard this card at the end of the round. Okay, so 0 cost for your hero, gets +1 Thor, +1 attack, +1 defense. Yeah, I would say as kind of a pseudo event, this seems pretty good, and doesn't do anything with the ready event, but I suppose it does. It takes all your stuff that's been omni boosted and gives you another use of it. There's 2 of them. Okay, so yeah, this seems good. Good use of the temporary keyword, and yeah, just makes him all the better. Being able to double his thwart is also probably very notable. And last card in the kit is Prince of Power. It is an upgrade, 1 cost, Olympus and title traded. And with the hero response of Hercules attack, after Hercules attacks and defeats an enemy, exhaust Prince of Power, heal 1 damage from Hercules for each point of excess damage dealt to that enemy by this attack. Alright, so my initial look at this is that this feels like a combination of Thor and like Wolverine to some extent. Or even like, I guess, Bishop. Bishop has a kind of a similar thing where he can just heal a bunch of damage. I think that if you have his upgrade that gives you overkill and boosts up your attack, yeah, this seems very potent, and I'm kind of excited by this. For a hero that I wasn't too excited by, this has got me, at least, it has my attention. But let's move on to the aspect cards. We'll blow through any reprints. I probably won't say too much about them because we've seen them before, but let's get into it because I do not know a lot about this leadership deck. So we've got the 3 cost ally Death Cry. So 1 thwart, 3 attack. The attack has consequential damage of 2 and has 4 hit points. Has the Avenger trait. And hero interrupt, when Death Cry makes a basic attack, deal your hero 1 damage. Death Cry takes -1 consequential damage for this attack. Okay, so you don't have to do that. That's not a forced interrupt. And it's also relevant that it's a hero interrupt, so if you're an alter ego, you have no way around this. So yeah, I guess taking 1 damage to allow her to make 4 basic attacks doesn't seem like too much. I guess I'm getting a lot of X-23 vibes here as well. Yeah, I guess overall, I think there is a very good chance that there is a leadership deck that just has a lot of 3 attacking allies in it, and just take advantage of that. So this seems like a good piece to that hypothetical deck. You know, thinking like Beta Ray Bill, I'm pretty sure that the White Tiger, I think, has a pretty high attack. And then you got like this. Yeah, overall, I like the design space here. Nemora, a 4-cost ally, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 4 hit points with a star. Nemora gets +1 hit point for each other ally you control. Okay, so she takes 2 consequential damage when she thwarts, but she gets more health for each ally you control. That seems like a really good leadership ally. Oh, and she's got the Agents of Atlas and the Atlantis trait. I don't necessarily know where I would put her like right away, but obviously there are those go wide decks that just try to get as many allies in play as possible. There are scenarios where you get allies and they don't count against your ally limit, thinking like Enchantress and Loki, or the first of the Morlock Siege, especially in single player. I think you get 2 Morlocks there. But yeah, this interesting. I don't necessarily know what to think of this card. I think that being able to get a bunch of 2 attacks is really cool. Kind of makes the 4 cost feel fair, because at first I was like, well, that seems a little excessive for a 4-hand hero. But you know what this also does in the pre-constructed decks? This gives you something to use that resource generator on. We got Thor, Odinson. We got again, love this guy. Okay, again the 3/3 stats, cool. So a 4-cost ally, 3 thwart, 3 attack, 4 hit points. Asgard and Avenger traded. Force response: after Thor makes a basic thwart, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion into play, engage with you. I could see Tigra really liking this. Obviously, Thor would love this, but that's not going to happen. I think who else is... Well, I suppose... Yeah, no other heroes necessarily jump out. I could see a Vision deck that might like this card if you're collecting allies, but I don't think... But leadership doesn't feel like the right aspect for that. The hypothetical, like, Cyclops, but for Avengers, would probably also really love this. That's all hypothetical. Yeah, overall, I remember this card being previewed. I'm kind of excited for it. Obviously, it will go into decks that are not necessarily the one that I play the most, but yeah, I think being able to just pull out minions is going to be a fun time, and he's got the way to do it. Like thwarting for 3 to then minion summon is a cool premise. We got copies of Teamwork, 0-cost event that we've seen before. When you use Hero Interrupt, when you use your basic thwart power or basic attack power, exhaust an ally you control, add that ally's matching power to your hero's power for that use. Like I said, we've seen this card before. The fact that we have some allies here that have pretty high, well, we've got Thor, who's gonna be really good for this, boost for 3 for either, but Death Cry being able to boost up your attack for 3 without running into her little interrupt ability. This card is one that I don't always use, but I like but them putting it in here tells me that there's going to be some use for it in the future. Call for Backup, just a good player side scheme. Costs 1, got victory 0, and when you defeat it, each player searches their deck and discard pile for an ally and puts it into play, and then it's got 3 threat per player. I'm happy this got a reprint. This is a card that I think everybody should have more of, and I also like the fact that it's a reprint because that means that I can have 2 leadership decks built and not have to swap them between the 2. Plus, you got the cool Hercules art. Oh, got 3 copies of Recruitment Drive, a 3-cost support. I think I've seen this card. Alter Ego form only. Okay, so you play this in Alter Ego form. Action, discard Recruitment Drive and choose a player. Reduce the resource cost of the next ally that player plays this phase to 0. All right, this seems like a good turn 1 for Thor or Hercules. Or I guess Spider. Spider would probably also get a good use out of this, just being able to have that small hand size, but then you can just drop an ally. I mean, you're already in leadership, so you're probably going to want to play allies. And yeah, that's... okay. I'm struggling to think about which allies I would use this the most for, but in multiplayer, going, hey, do you want to put 6-cost Captain America, or... we can't do 6... Well, okay. 6-cost Hercules, because Hercules was a aggression ally. I think they cost 6. Yeah, this seems like a really good multiplayer card. In single player, I could definitely see this being a pillar of what you're going to do. I'm just struggling to think about what in leadership I would want to use this for the most. Got 3 copies of Avenge Me, a 0-cost upgrade with the Avenger trait. Play only if your identity has the Avenger trait. Attach to an ally, max 1 per ally. Interrupt when attached ally is defeated, draw 2 cards. They've got to be defeated, but I think that there's plenty of allies that you want to see defeated. If you could I say if you could figure out, because it's not that hard to figure this out, but like being able to play an Avenger with the Web of Life and Destiny to hit the ability to put Web Warriors into play. There are so many Web Warriors that want to leave play, and if defeating them is going to be the way that you do it, like I've got Spider-Punk on the brain right now. So if you've got Hobie Brown Spider-Man, he dies, you draw 2 cards, you reveal the top 3, and you deal a bunch of damage. I don't think that that's a big hurdle to clear, to basically have an Avengers character that then has the Web of Life and Destiny in play. I know that's not a Hercules plan, I don't think, but just in general, like trying to think outside of the box, that's where my mind goes, and that excites me. Oh, I'm realizing that there was a card that I was expecting to be here, and it's not here. So it must be in the Wonder Man deck. All right, so we move on to the basic cards. First card we have is Gilgamesh. 3-cost ally with 2 thwart, 3 attack, the Eternal trait, and 6 hit points. As an additional cost to play this card, if you do not have the Eternal trait, Confuse Your Identity. I think this is a really good card. So getting confused, especially in a situation where you don't really care about that necessarily, seems fine. Like Stun would be a much bigger thing. Confuse is, I don't think, a huge hurdle. Obviously, it's going to come into play eventually, but he's got 2 consequential damage for both of his activations, so it makes it up for the 6 hit points. If you have a way to boost up his hit points even by 1, just to get an extra activation, all the better. Yeah, this is fun. Plus the teamwork card, which I suppose you can't do that because you need to have the. Wait, is it? You need to have the same trait, right? Oh, you don't. Okay, this was before they got really into that. So yeah, being able to use teamwork to boost your attack by 3 in whatever hero you're going to do, that also seems like a good idea. Then we've got Ancient Rivalry, which I'm guessing there's going to be a copy of it in the back of the pack. Okay, there is. All right, so this is a 1-cost event with the Avenger and Olympus traits, the team up for Hercules and Thor, max 1 per deck. Hero action, search your discard pile for an identity-specific upgrade and add it to your hand. Ready Hercules and Thor. So yeah, being able to grab, well, I guess there is Mjolnir, but then there's also just like God of Thunder, your resource thing. Obviously, Hercules has a lot of upgrades. I don't know if team-up cards are so hard to rate. Like I want to do like a big push on making more team-up cards, like custom ones. But the thing I keep running into is like, is 0 the appropriate cost? Because you already have this hurdle to jump over. But like, yeah, and this makes me want to play the 2 of them. Like 1 player plays Thor, 1 player plays Hercules, and just really take full advantage of this. Because yeah, this is just a limitless stamina, which we're about to talk about, but for 2 heroes that you know you're going to be playing. We've got 3 copies of Limitless Stamina. Thank you, because this is definitely a card that if I'm going to be playing, I'm going to probably be providing the cards for my friends, and I want to be able to have Hercules and Thor play together, and I want them to both have Limitless Stamina. So what is Limitless Stamina? It is a 1-cost event with a superpower trait. Play only if your identity has 14 printed hit points, at least 14 printed hit points, and hero action of Ready Your Hero. Super simple. The decks that want it definitely want it. Your Hulks, your She-Hulks, your Thors, your Spiders, your Hercules. Yeah, this all seems great. I feel like there's one other hero I'm forgetting. I don't know if the Drax fits into that. But I feel like there must be somebody I'm forgetting. I'm not, and I don't remember. But yeah, this is just a fun card. We've got Evaluate Threat, a basic player side scheme. Always got to keep those in mind. Play only if your identity has the Avenger or Shield trait. When defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for an Avenger or Shield card and add it to their hand. Reduce the cost to play those cards by 2 until the end of the phase. This seems really good coming off an Agents of Shield and Civil War wave. Or waves, individual waves. Yeah, this seems like a good kind of like way to say, hey, we didn't have player side schemes back when the Avengers were, the big thing. Let's pay that back. I don't know. I mean, for a lot of the Shield supports, this basically makes them free. I don't think this is a bad card. I'm just trying to think about what applications I would put for it. Plus, it's only got 2 threat per player. So that makes it really easy for even the 2 thwart heroes to do. They can just make 1 basic thwart to get this, in solo out of the way, and then they can go grab something yeah, I think this is fun, and I think a lot of the shield supports that cost 2 are just going to, in your aspect, are going to take a lot more consideration. And also, I mean, frankly, just for Maria Hill, this is probably going to be fun. And it's not support strictly, but yeah, I think this is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be as popular as all the other basic ones, but I think this is going to be one that you're going to see in a lot of lists. Got the basic resources. Obviously, we got to have Hercules because he's on the card. Avenger's Compound, a 0-cost support. Avenger location traded. Play only if you have the Avenger trade. Max 1 per deck. Then we got Action, Exhaust, Avenger's Compound. Choose. Tuck 1 ally from your hand here if there are no allies tucked here, or play the tucked ally here as if it were in your hand. This is a good for smaller hand size, and I guess this is really going to be Hercules and Thor. But for smaller hand sized heroes, being able to say, hey, I've got a 3 or 4 cost ally, I have a way that I'll be able to play it. That seems really good. Plus it's from your hand. I mean, also just like if you just got, your leadership Maria Hills, you got your Iron Hearts. Maybe not, this isn't going to go everywhere, but I could see that there's going to be some applications where this is really going to be super helpful to just make it happen. Got a copy of Helicarrier and a copy of Quinn Carrier. These are both great. Helicarrier, which I don't think we've seen in a while, but it was in the core set, so everyone should have it. Quinn Carrier, I feel like that was first printed outside of the core set, so anytime we get Quinn Carrier is a good time. This obviously is Avengers traded. This is just everything, but both of these fit the role for that side scheme we just talked about, because Shield and Avengers. So cool, and they'll only cost 1 to play. All right, then we are moving into the Obligation and Nemesis kit. So the Obligation is Appeal to Athena. Give to the Hercules player. When counting gift cards you control, you are considered to have none. That's potent. Alter Ego action. Exhaust Hercules or spend Genius. Remove this obligation from the game. Okay, so I like the fact that this is removed from the game. This is not going to come back. This seems like a really good wrench in your plans. So it gets a thumbs up from me. Then we've got, and I knew this was coming. Where are you? Okay. Oh, actually. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So like Ares does not fit the fighting the Hydra thing. Okay. So Ares is a minion with 0 scheme, 3 attack, 5 hit points. The Elite and Olympus traits got Retaliate 1, and after Ares schemes, deal yourself 1 face down encounter card. Well, that seems much scarier than him just scheming. And we'll evaluate everything by looking at the side scheme as well. So the side scheme says, comes in with 2 threat. 1 revealed, place 1 additional threat here for each Olympus card in play. So a lot like Loki and whatever the side scheme he had is. And then you're also getting an additional encounter card. This doesn't seem too bad. If you have a way to boost up Hercules' attack, which he does have in his deck, so it's not a big ask. I feel like 5 for a non-quick striker, and not everybody should have quick strike, but that's just kind of what can take a hero or a Nemesis and really kind of make them scary. And plus he does have Retaliate, so you do want to minimize the amount of attacks you make against him. But I guess I'm more worried about the side scheme than I am about the minion. There's going to be situations where the minion is going to be bad news for you, but I think I'm more worried about how I'm going to handle this. Yes, like he is an Olympus, so this gets 1 more, plus you're Olympus. Probably, well, you definitely are, because you're, yeah, I'd be more worried with how I'm going to deal with this. These two don't, these two work together, but unlike other Nemesis and side schemes, they don't feel like they're mechanically linked as much. Yeah, I'm more worried about the side scheme than I am about Ares, and that might be foolish of me. Then we've got the Hydra, which finally answers the question of where are we going to find a big health minion. So it is a 0 scheme, 2 attack creature Hydra with 6 hit points, force response. After a character you control attacks and damages Lyrian Hydra, choose to either spend a physical resource or heal 2 damage. Oh my gosh. Okay. That makes sense. Oh my god. Yeah, this is going to be a labor. Oh my gosh. Yeah, actually with the labor that this would be most tied to, I would definitely be looking through the encounter deck to try to find a different minion to fight, because this is going to either be taking a lot of resources from you, or it's going to be taking a lot of attacks, because you're going to essentially attack for 3, heal 2. Cool. Yeah, don't make the this feels more like a Nemesis than Ares. I understand why it's not, but oh man, wow. And then okay, we got two different cards. Okay, so we got God of War. We'll just look at them both now. Okay, I can already see where this is going. When revealed, each minion attacks the player it is engaged with, even if that player is in alter ego form. If no minion activates this way, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded and reveal that minion. Whew. Okay, so if you hit Shadow of the Past and also happen to have a second card that would cause you to surge, so you could possibly hit this, that does make Ares a little scarier. Now we've got Ares Axe, a attachment attached to Ares, otherwise attached to the villain, +2 attack. After attached enemy attacks, if no friendly character took damage from this attack, discard this card. I could see this sticking around for a while. I mean, there are going to be instances where you can just defend and you can just prevent a bunch of damage. But I could see this being a attachment that lands on the villain and is just around for the rest of the game. I can see situations where that could occur. You almost want this to land on Ares just because you can take him out super quick. Oh wow! So yeah, I think that's a pretty fun Nemesis kit. It feels like it might be a little kind of all over the place, but don't hate it. We got a second copy back of the pack of Ancient Rivalry, and then we have the Versus All encounter set, modular encounter set. So Versus All is a side scheme with 2 threat, hinder 2, force response. After a character is defeated, place 2 threat on the scheme. When defeated, set all Versus All aside. Plus you get an additional encounter card. So there's probably going to be ways that this gets pulled back out from being set aside. Oh boy, so we got Hecate. I feel like I've always known this as Hecate. A minion, 2 scheme, 0 attack, Olympus traded, 4 hit points. When revealed / defeated, find the all versus all side scheme and reveal it. Force response. After Hecate activates, place 2 threat on the all versus all side scheme. Wow. Remind me what this does again. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting modular encounter set. 4 hit points schemes whenever it activates, period. Oof, okay. Then we got Kaiknos. Yeah, okay. 0 scheme, 3 attack, brute, Olympus traded, 7 hit points, retaliate, toughness, victory 0. Okay, victory is good because he seems like he's going to be a problem. Force response. After this minion activates, place 2 threat on all versus all side scheme. Otherwise, place 1 threat on the main scheme. Again, it just activates. Obviously, you're going to choose to be doing this. Okay. Then we've got Roving Mob. Side scheme with 3 threat on it. Victory 0. When defeated, find all versus all side scheme and reveal it. And it's got the crisis icon. Wow. I'm not going to pretend to really understand what flavor. I mean, obviously this is an Olympus thing, but like the flavor of this is very much just like this side scheme is going to be around. All right, and then we have Bewitched Officer, a 1 scheme, 3 attack minion with the aerial, dragon, and enthralled trait. Enthralled, okay. 5 hit points, retaliate 1. Bewitched Officer's attacks gain piercing and ranged. Well, you know what? This doesn't deal with the all versus all side scheme and put it into play. This is an interesting modular encounter set. I mean, put it into whatever you want, but like, I guess there's not a thing jumping to mind where I'm like, I definitely want this in that. Fun hero. I'm actually more impressed with Hercules than I thought I was going to be. So that's a bonus. If he's doing cool things, I want to do cool things. What are your thoughts on Hercules? What makes you excited? Let me know in the comments. But until next time, when we'll be talking about Wonder Man, thank you for your time. Have a great day, and you're doing great. Keep it up.